Let's get back to our roots. In this lecture, be able to define root, Casparian strip, and mycorrhizae. It will help, but you're not going to be tested on learning such terms as cortex and stele. Be able to list and describe roles of roots, and list and describe modifications to roots. Please note that the last one is going to be an in-class activity. Roots are the first thing that a seed is going to grow. And the reason for this is that the first thing a seed needs is water, and roots primarily get water. They also will anchor the growing plant. So as the seed continues to germinate, it's going to push up through the soil, and putting a root down at the same time will help it so once those leaves get out into the air, they don't get blown away very easily or just washed away if there's an overflow of water or something like that. If plants lack roots, then they may get, blown away, blown around, or they may just fall over. So roots will help anchor. Of course, most importantly, and remember this one, roots take up water. So that's one of our most important things. Yes, nutrients, but a lot of it's going to be water and the nutrients that are dissolved in it. So the root is a below ground portion of a plant that draws water from the soil, provides storage, as you can see in these carrots, creates cytokinins. We're going to look at some hormones later, and the cytokinins are created by the roots. The auxin is going to be created by the shoot tip later. It is also going to anchor the plant. So take some time to think about what roots that you know. So you got carrots right here. Think of some other roots. We're going to list them in class. Now the root structure is divided into two parts, the cortex and the stele. And it's divided by something known as the Casparian strip. So the cortex is the outer cells in a root. What you should do at home is you should cut a carrot in half, across the way, not like lengthwise. I mean, either way you can still see the stuff, or get carrots from a can. You're going to see the carrot's cortex is this outermost portion. And you're going to see the inner portion is the stele. It's where the vascular tissue actually is. If you got carrots from a can, try pushing gently on the center. What's going to happen is it's going to come apart. And it's going to come apart along the Casparian strip. That is a waxy portion of the root. So there is wax in the cell wall of those cells. And that means water can't pass through the waxy barrier. Okay, but I thought roots took up water. Well, yes, but not passively. So water can't pass through the waxy part, but it can go through the cell membrane, and therefore it can go through the cells. So water itself can go through. And what's also going to happen, though, is there's things dissolved in the water. So the things dissolved in the water will have to go through the cell, and the cell can say no to certain things dissolved in the soil. So if there was too much aluminum, perhaps, in the soil, that aluminum can accumulate in the cortex, but if the plant does not want to take up aluminum, it can prevent the aluminum from passing through the Casparian strip and getting into the stele. Because the stele is going to give the water to every other part of the plant, it pays the plant to be selective using that waxy cuticle in the Casparian strip. Now, something a plant does is associates with fungi called mycorrhizae. So these fungi are going to vastly increase the amount of surface area across which a plant can take up water. So a plant takes up water along the surface of its roots where the surface touches the soil. Now, fungal growth has a large amount of surface area. It's kind of what fungi are known for, is having so much surface area because they have very thin filaments there. And that can branch off for quite a good distance and take up a lot of water across a lot of surface area. This also means more nutrients can be absorbed. The mycorrhizae will also connect different plants to each other, and the plants can actually communicate using the mycorrhizae. Now, this is where we're going to think, pair, web, and share in class. We're going to look at the adventitious roots, storage roots, prop roots, aerial roots, and contractile roots. So groups are going to get together and they're going to think, pair, and then look things up on the web a little bit and then share what they've learned. I urge you to look these up on your own at home.